3 or 4 years' time with something that's yet to be fully developed.
Question number 6, the Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Education and asks, will she extend the consultation timeframe for Christchurch schools which are proposed to be merged or closed to enable them to fully engage with their communities? If not, why not?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, that is certainly possible. Over the next 3 weeks, I will be spending the bulk of my time in Christchurch visiting schools, listening to parents and their school communities, and if they present to me a case including about the extension of a timeline, I will certainly consider it.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Speaker. Mr Speaker, in light of that response, will she take into account the fact that schools are being expected to consult with their communities during Term 4 when they have exams, school reports, end-of-year prize givings and other matters to attend to? And will that be something she'll take into account in allowing perhaps to the end of Term 1, which is what a number of the schools have asked her to consider?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, I'll take into account all the issues that a school chooses to raise with me.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Does she stand by the statement in Building Effective School Networks that the Ministry must give sufficient opportunity to the community to express its views? And so if that is the case, then why has she so far declined communities the extension that they have said they need?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, I'll definitely take those issues into account. We provided 2 weeks' notice of the proposals and a further 10 weeks for consultation in an overall 6-month period. That's part of the 2.5 years. So we will take those into account and we will ensure that schools have the opportunity to raise all the issues that they wish to raise.
Simon O'Connor.
Supplementary question to the Minister. And has the Minister received any reports on the current consultation timeframe around the Greater Christchurch Education Renewal Plan?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr Speaker, yes, I have personally received feedback on a range of things, including that some schools do not wish for the timeframes to be extended, as they want certainty as soon as possible and would like to move forward.
The Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Is it her intention that the relevant cluster can submit over the specific proposals to close or merge individual schools within the cluster? And if so, do they have to submit on those proposals by the 7th of December as well?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
No, Mr Speaker.
The point of order, the Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
That's simply, I don't understand the Minister's answer. Was she... In saying no, seriously, I mean, I'm not playing games. I didn't understand whether she was answering the first part or the second part.
The dilemma is, of course, the Minister only need answer one part of a supplementary question, and that, you know, where a member really does need the information at pace, just only ask one part. That's been a long-standing ruling in this House. Ministers can. I mean, I've hauled that minister up for not answering questions, but she did answer a part of that question very clearly today. That's not for the Speaker to discern. That's for the order. It is not difficult. It is not difficult for intelligent people to ask a straight supplementary question if they really do want the answer to it. Point of order, the Honourable David Parker.
I accept, sir, that ministers only have to address one part of the question, but it should not be too hard for the House to expect that the answer elucidates which part of the question is being answered. Otherwise it makes a mockery, sir, of the question.
Order. There's some responsibility falls on questioners as well, not just on ministers. Questioners, if they really are serious about wanting information, should ask a simple, clear question. Then there can be no confusion. I can't go back to the Minister when she did answer a part of that question and say, Minister, look, I'd like you to answer the other part, or I can't do that. The Minister answered part of that question, and as far as the Speaker is concerned, that's where it ends. And it's up to members in asking questions to think about it, to think more carefully in asking the question. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, you have, I think, over time set a set of rules around straight questions which get straight answers, which do not avoid the question and do not involve politics. Sir, it seems to me that in allowing this approach from this Minister on a straight question, on a serious issue, you are diverging from what I thought was a very good set of rulings.
Order. The member knows I've tried, where members ask simple, straight questions, some of his colleagues, I've given a great deal of assistance to them to extract answers. But I can't say to ministers, look, where a member actually asks two parts to a question, they must answer both of them. I can't do that. And because there've got to be disciplines on both sides of the House. You know, if members are serious about a piece of information, they must seek only that information. And with a straight question, I assure the member, I will try to get the answer. Is it a point of order? Or a point of order, Dennis O'Rourke?
Mr. Speaker, is it too much to ask that the House should know which question a simple answer is being given to? Otherwise, it is simply not intelligible, and that's not too much to ask.
Order. Well, I'll hear the Leader of the House.
Speaker, I think we're spending a lot of time actually wasting that time when this is a long-held convention. If people want to know what the answer is, what question the answer is for, just ask the question, not several.
The member put it very well. Look, we do not need to waste more time on this issue. I realise the member is seeking to ask a further supplementary question, but does the member wish to raise further to point of order?
Draw your attention to Speaker's ruling 177.6, which you will know well, sir, that says the Speaker is the Speaker, not a quizmaster.
Supplementary question, Hon Lianne Dalziel.
Speaker, which part of my question did the Minister answer no to?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, the last part.
Question.
Mr. Speaker.
Order. I must fail to hear the members. Is it a supplementary question, Honourable Lianne Dalziel?
Mr. Speaker, if one of the clusters presents her after the 7th of December with a proposal that involves not closing or merging one of the schools that she had already concluded consulting on the closure or merger of, will she reopen the formal consultation for those schools?
The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, the cluster proposals are not required by the 7th of December, so that question isn't relevant.
Point of order, the Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
That is word for word the question that my colleague asked the person asking on behalf of the Minister last week, and I've repeated the question for the Minister.
I believe on this occasion the question is a perfectly fair question. The Minister has indicated that cluster consultation is not required to be completed by a certain time, but individual schools consultation is intended to be completed by that time. The question asked where a cluster proposal emerging from consultation after the point of time where consultation is completed for individual schools, whether a proposal emerging from that could reopen an issue relating to an individual school. Now, I think that was a perfectly fair and straight question, and the Minister's answer didn't answer that, because the Minister in answer said cluster consultation is not required to be completed by that same date. That wasn't the question. The question was if after the closure point for individual schools, a proposal emerged from a cluster that affected an individual school, would the Minister be prepared to reopen the issues surrounding that individual school? The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, the proposals relating to 215 schools in Christchurch are on two different processes with two different timelines. 37 schools have specific proposals that have been put to them, and the timeline on those is the 7th of December. Clusters have the opportunity beyond that because they involve more than the schools that have those specific proposals. Those cluster plans are not due before. They will be able to take into account decisions made in respect of the proposals for the individual schools.
Point of order, and I expect I can anticipate what it is. That wasn't the question. Order. The question asked if during the ongoing consultation that carries on beyond the specified date for clusters, a proposal emerged that affected an individual school where a decision had already been made, would the decision possibly be reopened as a result of the consultation that took place further on in time with respect to the cluster? It is a reasonable question. The Honourable Hekia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to take into account particular issues determined by the particular set of circumstances that relate to the particular school and the particular cluster.
I thank the Honourable Minister. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor.
Mr. Speaker, I wonder if you will now rescind the Speaker's ruling to which Mr Dunn referred.
Order. I think we're best to continue to move. The Honourable point of order, the Honourable Lianne Dalziel.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table in the House a letter addressed to the Minister from Aranui Primary School, signed by past pupils and past staff of Aranui Primary who were at their centenary over the weekend, asking for an extension until the end of Term 1, 2013, and my covering letter.
Leave us sought to table those documents. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Question number 7, Nikki Wagner.
Speaker, to the Minister of Education,